Well, good day, everybody. Guess it's time to fix up that track bar situation so we don't have no more issues. Before we get started on that, I'm gonna try out this fancy tool called the portable power press, which has a million uses depending on how creative. What's nice is that I have the Blue Point pump and it just threads right up with the fitting they got. No need to make any changes. Now, of course, if you want to use this as a jack, you got to have some common sense and make sure the feet are the same way and not opposed, because then you're going to have an accident. That should be good. Should be enough. Put her down on the stands, and that should give me the clearance I need to pull that track bar bolt out. I may have the height I need to get that out, otherwise with the suspension sagged, you're never gonna get on this because it's right up where the gas tank is. I'm not looking forward to taking the track bar out and recutting it. That's gonna be a pain in the butt. This is for those who like the B-roll. Even though you can't see much in there, I'm gonna pull this track bar bolt out. I can see right there, it's gonna be an issue because it's hitting the gas tank. It's gonna be the fun part. The Torx is not our friend, so I'm gonna try to heat it up first and then spray some PB Blaster. Spray some PB Blaster in there while it's still hot. Hopefully try to suck it up in there. So this is where the plot thickens. I need a T55, and that's going to be the problem. I got a T50, then a T60, but I know I must have one because I took it out once before. Could always cut this off and weld it in a socket, but I'd rather not do that. Still need a T55, but gonna do it the old breaker bar method. She's pretty loose now. We don't need the breaker bar. Oh, she's still tight. Nothing a little heat and a little PB Blaster will not cure. You had enough with outside? Is that what you're saying? Do you want to go in and have some treats? Is that what you want? Is that what you want? I'm going to tell you right now, this was the most ignorant thing to get off. That upper bolt on the top here, in the spot it was in, it was a nightmare. You couldn't get a wrench on it properly because the control arm's in the way, but you can see right here, I managed to get it off, fought it the whole way, and it was rounding itself as it went. That's taken care of. I can't do any modifications with the track bar yet because I ordered spacers for the rear springs. So after talking with Fedor on the phone, discussing the idea I had about, you know, possibly using some airbags, he brought up the idea of using spacers. So I ordered some spacers off Amazon. They're like 1.75, which is like a budget lift, and it'll compensate for the sag I have right now, and I won't have that issue of trying to bottom out anymore. This is not the height it'll be. I probably got this 4 inches higher than what it was, but I guess those spacers will just go on top of the spring perch there, because realistically over the years rear suspension probably sunk over an inch. Then when I got all my gear in the back, it's probably like another inch sunk over stock, so probably down about 2 inches there. So I'll bring it back up to where I don't have to worry about when I'm out wheeling. And especially when I realign that track bar, I'm not going to have that issue with my fuel lines getting hit. That could be that could have been trouble out there in the bush for sure. There's a tornado warning. Are you scared? Are you scared, Tomcats? This must be the calm before the storm. Just got a time lapse set up with the Osmo. Hang out in the garage, drink a beer. And yes, I broke down, cut my motherfucking hair. Holy shit, is that a plane in the sky? Haven't seen that in forever. That's kind of interesting right there, eh? That's all in the northeast. God hates the northeast. This is rather disappointing. I got all excited, thinking this was end of days. Got my beer, come outside to watch the storm for a while. I'll go inside and cuddle with Tomcat until we get swept away, but all it is a lightning storm so far. Telling you right now, it feels so much better. Having a haircut is becoming way too much to handle. Combing it numerous times a day because it's getting all knotted. I did get my parts. Got a T55 in the set from Princess Auto. They didn't sell singles, so I had to buy another set. You can never have too many Torxes, I guess. It was $14.99 for the set, and then Amazon delivered these pucks that I'm going to install. That should compensate for the sag in the rear with all the weight and fuel and everything else. Otherwise, when you're out and about, the Jeep kind of sits like this, which is really kind of foolish. Before we get started, make sure that your wheels are chalked, because once your rear differential's up in the air, nothing's gonna stop it from rolling away. probably be able to get the spring out by hand, which is easy enough to do. However, getting them back in won't be so easy. And the bump stop just pulls out. There we go. Now the interesting thing, we have this flat spot. I have no idea, and it doesn't say in the instructions where that flat spot is supposed to go. But now I'm wondering, is that supposed to... Okay, maybe that gets punched in there. Maybe that's how that works. Where's my mallet? Where's my mallet? Okay. Well, the instructions are pretty cut and dry. Oh yeah. And there will be enough bolt space for sure. So there we go. That one's in. Something was bugging me, so I'm gonna take it apart again. Problem that bugs me is that there's not much of a lip there for that spring to sit. I don't like that. I'm gonna modify it. So originally I was gonna go with the pipe, but it didn't matter because the pipe wasn't the same diameter as that spacer. Because if you want to go longer, the spacer actually butts up against it. So that's why I just went welded the nut. The nut is nice and small. It's going to stick up a little bit, and the spacer is not going to move around and cause any future issues. And now, like that, I feel much better because it's just above that spacer now. That looks way better. Got rid of the sag. Spring perch is looking all right. This is where I go down the rabbit hole to modify my track bar again. Be a lot of work to grind those welds down and remove that collar. For what it's worth, so I'm just gonna cut it right through there, weld another section in, and join another collar. Be the band-aid bar until I get the other axle in, build my own track bar. Alright, track bar's fitted up. Just gonna weld that section and then weld that collar in, and then I'll be good. Alright, so got the track bar reinstalled where the factory bracket is, because you can see now there is a huge gap between that and the fuel lines now. But however, I realized that my emission lines up there are crushed just past where that red tape is, so I'm gonna have to repair that starting tomorrow. Yeah, it's definitely a wake-up call, because you just never know. I never would have suspected it, right? But I guess if you bottom out hard enough, that you're going to do some damage for sure. And I gotta patch those lines up, because if I don't, then I'm gonna get water in the fuel if I'm going through any type of like water crossing. So I gotta look out for that. And yeah, the shit show continues. I do need to take it outside though, so I can get a good look at that budget boost lift. Need to take this thing for a rip, make sure everything's all right. Got those 2-inch blocks in the rear. Actually makes it sit up just a little bit taller in the back end when it's loaded. Just on the Deerfoot, seems to be driving pretty good. Just never know how something's gonna turn out once you install it. Alright, it's time to shut her down. Call it a motherfucking beer time. We got this orange creamsicle, or creamsick ale, 4.8% alcohol. I better drink these craft beers up because they've been in my fridge for a while. Anyways, motherfucking beer time. Tastes like a creamsicle too, actually. By Railway City Brewing. So I'm glad that worked out. I feel a whole lot better about that little modification I did by welding the nut on the bottom of that cup. Gave me that extra space so that the spring can sit up there, and I won't have to worry about somehow the spring coming off the perch, so to speak. And just gotta fix up those emission lines underneath that got crunched. Lesson learned, lesson learned. Wonder how many other people have suffered issues like that by using the track bar relocation mount, because that's not good at all. Especially when you're loaded down. If you're without all your gear in the back, probably be all right. But I'm going to shut her down. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions or comments, post them below. I'll see you guys in the next video.